Hey, what up? It's the girl Leia, aka Chef Slay the Playa. Today we are doing breakfast. We are talking about gluten. I know that's a very touchy subject for some of you people because, like myself, I definitely thought I was one of those gluten-free type of people who, you know, couldn't really eat it, or like it just really affected me. But yeah, I don't know. This is a touchy subject and we're gonna talk about it. We are going to learn the specifics, the scientific details about what gluten actually is, how can it affect you, and what kind of sensitivity you might have, if at all, to gluten. So let's get into it. If you like pancakes, bro, you need to like and subscribe to this channel because I am making a breakfast feast for you guys, okay? So let's get to it. I just woke up. Do you know what that means? That means I'm making breakfast.
You can probably tell because you got bags under your eyes.
So we're going to be making 3 different types of pancakes today, y'all. We're gonna make regular schmegular pancakes, buttermilk pancakes. We're going to make coconut flour, aka gluten-free pancakes, and we're going to be using our special pancake batter mix that is from a company called Grain for Grain, started by a Colorado School of Mines alumni. If you guys know Yanni, he used to be an RA. This is his company, and when you buy, I'm not even sponsored by him, I just like his product, but when you buy his product or his company's product, they donate 1 bag of this for every bag that you buy. So it goes to a good cause. So these are ingredients. Yes, regular flour, coconut flour, and special keto-friendly flour. Buttermilk, you can use regular milk if you want. That random ass bottle of vanilla extract that you've had in your pantry for the last 8 years. Some baking powder, honey, eggs, bacon, butter, potatoes, and your seasonings. So just for the pancakes alone, we're not going to be using this stuff. This is for the pancakes. And then we're just gonna be making, you know, bacon, eggs, and hash browns on the side. So let's get to it. So we're going to do the potatoes first because they take the longest. So I peeled my potatoes. You don't have to, but the skin, you don't want that. Okay, so this is the size of what you kind of want it to be. Not too small, but definitely not too big. So I cut my potato in half first. And couple of those, and voila, that's what you get. So we've got them all chopped. Next, we're going to throw them in a pot of boiling water just for 10, maybe 15 minutes. You don't want to completely get them all mushy. You still want them to be like semi-firm, like just barely firm enough to like you want to not eat them yet. Because after they're finished boiling, we're going to drizzle them with some oil and throw them in the oven so that they can get like super crispy and whatnot. So let's get to it. Next, we're going to do our bacon. We are not going to put this on the stove in a pan, but we are going to throw this in the oven because I feel like it makes the cooking process more even, so that like the edges, like the fatty edges of their bacon, you know how they're like usually undercooked and then like the inside, the middle is like overcooked. I feel like the oven totally cooks them very easily. So we're gonna do that. Just line them up, baby. And into the oven it goes on 375 degrees Fahrenheit. So our potatoes and our bacon are ready both at the same time. They both took about 15 to 20 minutes. So we're gonna take our potatoes off and strain them. them sit in there for a while. Now we're gonna take out our bacon. I like mine crispy, so I think these are perfect. And I flip them halfway through, so about 10 minutes in, maybe 7 or 8 minutes in, I flip them. Okay, and now what we're going to do, we're not gonna get rid of this oil yet, okay? So we're gonna take our potatoes, make sure most of the water is gone, okay? Put them right on here. We're gonna use that bacon fat as oil. See what I did there? And we're gonna get our seasonings. Some salt. Onion powder. Pepper. Cayenne, because you know it's my favorite. Not too much. It can be overwhelming, so not too much. And oh, just kidding, this was smoked paprika. This is cayenne. Just a little bit. And some Italian seasoning just to, you know, give it some green. Okay. And mix it on up. Now you can do this on a pan if you'd like, but since we're already using the oven and this pan, we might as well try to do as little dishes as possible. And there you have it, okay? So it looks a little like mushy and mashed, but trust me, those are gonna be like the extra crunchy pieces, okay? So spread it all out, make sure it's even before you throw it back in the oven. And we're gonna crank the heat up a little bit. We're gonna put it on 400 and cook it for about 20 more minutes. All right, it's been about 20, maybe 25 minutes. I flipped the potatoes halfway. The more scraped up surface area you can get, the better, because that's gonna become like the crispy edges. So take a look, I will show you. These bad boys are looking mighty fine. The edges are nice and crispy, nice and crunchy. Okay, so that's what you're looking for. Now we are on to our pancakes. Today we are going to be talking about gluten. Most people think that gluten is only something in bread or pasta, which is made from mostly carbs, which means gluten is a carb, right? Wrong. Gluten is an insoluble, aka non-dissolving, protein deposit made of two other proteins called gliadin and glutenin. Gluten is found in certain grains like wheat, rye, and barley, and is responsible for the stretchiness and chewiness of your foods. For example, if we compare a flour tortilla to a corn tortilla, we can see that flour tortillas are able to stretch and fold much easier than corn tortillas, which are sometimes tough to handle because they break apart easily. This is because of the lack of gluten allowed for stretching. People can have negative effects towards gluten, such as things like a wheat allergy, celiac disease, or gluten sensitivity. A wheat allergy occurs when a person's immune system freaks out towards wheat proteins in your body, causing typical allergy symptoms such as runny nose, watery eyes, and in more serious cases, you can have hives. Celiac disease, on the other hand, is an inherited disease that can cause indigestion, flatulence, diarrhea, fatigue, and more due to inflammation and damage of the lining of your small intestine. Gluten sensitivity, on the other hand, that can cause problems such as fatigue, joint pain, rashes, things like that. In our recipes today, we used coconut flour, which is completely gluten-free, We also use spent barley flour, and what that means is the barley has gone through the brewing process to make beer or another type of product, and the byproduct is grain that's left over. And instead of throwing it out, you can reuse it. A lot of carbs are implemented in the brewing process from soaking the grain, and in the end, you're left with mostly protein-filled grain that can still be used. Now, I love the idea of spent grain because recycling is like a passion of mine. I love recycling. I love reusing things and I love food. So spent grain is a perfect recycled product that definitely needs more recognition. So for our coconut flour pancakes, we're going to start off with some milk, a third cup of buttermilk. You can use regular milk, you can use Greek yogurt if you want. You can combine all three, but just some dairy liquid product you need to go in there. You can take 3 eggs, 3 whole eggs. Where'd it go? Oh, okay. Cool. You need 2 tablespoons of honey. I'm just gonna eyeball it. That looks like 1. That looks like 2. Okay. We're gonna need a teaspoon of vanilla extract. I'm gonna just do capful. Now we're gonna mix this all together. Whisk it all in. And this recipe is kind of weird because it doesn't actually require that much of the flour aspect. It's more of like everything else really makes it stick together, and then the flour is just like a small aspect of it. But hopefully it tastes good. I guess we'll see. Now we're going to add 2 tablespoons of butter or canola oil or coconut oil or whatever kind of oil. A fat source is what you need. Preferably warmed or heated, at least room temperature. It can't really be cold or else it's not really gonna mix in with all the other ingredients. All right, so next we're going to take about a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. Mix that in. And last but not least, our flour. We're gonna take 1/4 cup of our flour. That seems like 1/4. And there we go. Just mix until combined. It's gonna be more on the liquidy side, but don't worry, it's gonna taste good. If I'm making it, you know it's gonna taste good, okay? So we are going to do our keto-friendly pancake mix. So this is barley flour, okay? So we are going to start with 1/2 cup of water, capful of vanilla extract, and 1/2 cup of barley flour. And that's all, folks. Super simple. And hopefully super delicious. I'm actually gonna add a little bit more of this flour just because this batter looks a tad wet to me. go. Much better. It sticks to the spatula nice. All right, so we set our coconut flour based pancake mix aside because we're gonna let that rest for 10 minutes. So we've made this one, and the last one we're gonna make is our all-purpose regular schmegular buttermilk delicious pancakes. So first things first, we took 2 eggs and we separated the yolk from the white. Okay, so I blended up the whites to make them like super fluffy. You don't have to do this step, totally not necessary. But if you want your pancakes to be like as airy as possible, that's what you want to do. You want to make sure you whisk your egg whites just for like 2 minutes or so, not even that long. But so we've got our egg yolks in here. We're gonna add 1.5 cups of buttermilk. So I'm gonna add another 1/2 cup. Bam. Or you can just eyeball it. Okay, so we're gonna do our wet ingredients first. We're gonna take 4 tablespoons of melted butter. Bam. Okay. Another teaspoon or capful of vanilla extract. Mix that up. So now, take our egg whites. We're gonna pour them in. And we're not gonna whisk it in, but we're going to gently fold it in because all those air bubbles that were created when you were blending the whites, you don't really want those to go away. You want those to stay there. So just nicely mix it in. Don't whisk, don't get too crazy, okay? So now we're gonna add our flour. We're gonna add our dry ingredients. 2 cups of flour. A little bit of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon or so, and 1 tablespoon of sugar. You really don't need that much, and a pinch of salt. Ooh, for contrast. Now, fold it in, and it's okay if there's gonna be lumps. We like lumps, actually. Breasts are lumps. We like breasts. At this point, you can add strawberries, blueberries, chocolate chips, whatever, pretzels, whatever your heart desires. But we're gonna make plain pancakes. So, that's that. We have 3 batters. It's time to get going. It's been too long. I've been making this video for like 2 hours now. I'm ready to eat.
Blurry. Alright, let's do this quick. Cause it's a weird angle.
We'll make it not a weird angle.
Oh my gosh. Why did I never think of that?
I don't know.
Go fast. Excuse me. Alright.
Ready?
Yeah.
I'm gonna need you to zoom in on this one, so I'm gonna go through each of the different pancakes, and I want you to zoom in, okay?
So how am I gonna know when we're doing it?
When I'm gonna start touching them and talking about them.
Okay.
Okay. Ready? So this is our final product, you guys. This looks like a bomb breakfast that I could smash very easily. So we got our bacon, eggs, and potatoes. To the very left, we have our regular schmegular buttermilk pancakes, and at the very end, I decided to put blueberries because everything tastes better with blueberries. So they're somewhat firm, somewhat loose. Here's the coconut pancakes down here. They are very loose. You could just rip them apart. Very loose, but very, very good. They taste like cake, actually. And then here are the barley pancakes, and they are very firm, very durable. So yeah, I'm gonna try all of these. Tell me which one you guys liked the most. All right, I I definitely want you to try these two for sure, because this coconut pancake one is gonna change your life. I'm gonna put all the macros for each of the different pancakes in the description box. And like, subscribe, and comment below. Tell me what you guys think. Thanks for watching my video. I'll see you guys next time.